We helped this Florida roofer do $285,000 in just 10 weeks when he had only been selling roofs for 4 months. And we just covered how he did $130,000 in his first 10 days with his 57% closing ratio, and then how everything went to shit. And now we're going to go through the steps we took to solving the issue to get him back on track to then selling another 150K in his last 10 days with a 56 to 66% closing ratio. So we are a roofing marketing agency who's been around for about 60 months, so we're a little bit newer. We have a 12x average ROI, and that's actually been higher over the past 6 months. It's probably more like 18x. And so here we're going to hop in and go through every single step that we took to optimize the campaigns and fix this issue. So the real issue was all the people that were coming through didn't have insurance, or they didn't want to go through insurance, or there was also some repairs that were coming through. And so what did we actually do? At a high level, we trained Meta's AI, Facebook and Instagram, to identify qualified leads based off of the new criteria that we have. We also implemented strict call qualifiers while we were on the phone so that we could see who is actually qualified and push only those people through so that Matt didn't have to waste any time. Then we also finally revamped our advertising strategy so that we could have higher throughput the whole way through. So the exact qualifiers that we use and the hypothesis that we had was if we qualify for homeowners insurance, Meta's AI and machine learning algorithm will find more people like that, and the lead cost will not go up substantially while also getting qualified people through. And the same hypothesis goes for repairs. So we asked them, hey, are you looking for a roof replacement, repair, inspection? We didn't let any repairs come through. And same thing with homeowners insurance right here. We also created new ads because we wanted to do a couple things. Number one, we wanted to have higher throughput. So we wanted to mention that it was 3-year insurance very specifically in the actual ads themselves, not just the copy, so that the people would have higher throughput and they would be aware of that. And then ultimately combining that with the qualifier, you have people that are already aware they need insurance, and then you qualify for the insurance just in case as well. We also used video ads, and we tested a lot of them so that we can get more attention, number one, convert that intention, number two, and finally, the biggest thing was we wanted to make sure that we could keep that lead cost around the same amount. And what we did with our video ads is we tested 10 hooks with one strong body. We'll have at least one hook / body combination that performs, and one of them actually did outperform all the others. So we had a few different ones, and you can watch them here. The biggest thing that we want to say when you're making video ads is focus on the first half or first 3 seconds. And you should make actually 5x minimum as many variations of the hook than the rest of the ad. Then the rest of the ad. Then the rest of the ad. If it's just images, focus on a big headline in the same sense. 5x the other parts of the ads. Now, this also led to a dead period, right? Because it had, we were running these tests. It does take time to make these videos, get the scripts out, get the films out, as well as launch these different qualifiers and see them start to come in. You're almost kind of restarting. But it had been over 6 weeks with only one sale, as well as lower lead volume because of that. And because of the previous issues where there was 3 weeks, we got some appointments, but they weren't qualified. We do have our processes, but doubt can start to seep in. And he was saying, hey, I'm not getting lead, man. I'm hurting. I'm kind of worried about it. And I have that video here of that check-in call that we had. Now, the one thing I'd like to say is you have to trust the process and continually improve and make tweaks. If other people are having success, you can too. It's just a matter of getting every step of the funnel correct, and that can take time. I mentioned in a previous video, there are many different parts that you have to get correct. And the way we do it is we go from leads to appointments to qualified appointments to sales. We did leads and appointments, but now we need to focus on qualified appointments and sales, and that's what we were trying to fix. But in each of those stages, you also need to make sure that you have the offer, the format, the messaging, and the landing page correct. And what that means is that it can take time to get all of these things correct for leads, appointments, qualified appointments, and sales. And that's what we were experiencing here. Ultimately, we were just going through that process, but he was getting worried, which is completely reasonable. And so here's what all of these tests actually led to. The last 2.5 weeks, we did $150,000 in sales. There were 7 appointments, 5 sales. We were optimized at this point, and that's what the calendar looked like. As you can see, there were some of these appointments that we canceled because they were not qualified. The ads and ultimately everything leading together was ads that called out the audience correctly, also had the qualifiers in place. The qualifications ensured to higher lead quality, and we also fed that to Meta's AI so that we could keep the lead cost around where it was. We also had those qualifications in place to make sure that no time was wasted on unqualified homeowners. The end result was a 56 to 66% closing ratio and $150,000 in revenue. The systems were optimized, and for that 2-week period where the systems were optimized, there was an 87x ROI. It's a small sample size, but that's what the data actually shows us. And here's what he had to say. There's four in the last 2 weeks. It actually ended up becoming 5 after this call. And he said the leads have been good in the last 2 weeks. And so we went from everything going to shit, him saying, hey, I'm hurting, what's happening, to now everything comes back. And like I mentioned, it's just a matter of making those continual tweaks. And so if you are doing this process on your own and you have other people that are performing in your market, currently running ads, just realize it's just a matter of making the right tweaks and doing that with enough data over and over and over again. And the benefit is you have a money printing machine. If you want to see a full recap with the entire timeline, as well as what we thought we could have done better, what we thought was good, all the lessons we took to this and how we improved in the future, click the link in the description. There's going to be a link to that, as well as a link to the full guide if you want to download that for yourself.